Hi, welcome back to New England Fire Cooking. I'm Aaron Higgins. Today in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I like to do some birria tacos. We're going to be using the Traeger and the Blackstone today to knock this recipe out. Can't believe it took me so long to make these things. These things are absolutely awesome. And now I get to give it a shot. Let's get to grilling.
So first I'm going to get my seasonings together. And I'm going to use 2 packets of this McCormick Spice hot taco seasoning. Next, I'm bringing in 2 packets of the Riega Street Tacos carne asada seasoning. And because we're going with beef today, I'm going to use some of the Cattleman's Smokehouse rub. So I took my seasoning packets and the Cattleman's Smokehouse rub, and I just mixed them together in this bowl in all equal parts. And I'm just going to get it nice and incorporated, and then we'll be ready to season our meat. Now here I have 2 beef chuck roasts, about 4 pounds total. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give each roast a decent dose of extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to rub it all over the outside of the meat. Give it the same treatment on both sides. Now we're going to add the seasoning. Give both these roasts a good, healthy dose. Same treatment on both sides. Don't be shy with this rub at all. We're making tacos with these, and you want these things to pop. So I got the Traeger Pro 34 fired up. We're running some pecan pellets today. It's going to go really, really well with this beef. And I sit these 2 roasts right down the very middle of the rack, and we're going to let this roll at 275 degrees until the bark starts beginning to build. And that's when we'll be ready to break them down and get them tender. So while our meat's in the smoker, I'm going to chop up these 2 hot green peppers as well as this whole white onion. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, or you don't have to chop it fine or anything like that. I'm going to put it in this bone stock, this kettle and fire beef broth, and we're going to add these veggies to that. I'm also going to add some garlic, and we're going to let this cook down a little bit and get a little on the soft side. And then we're going to make a dipping sauce. First, I'm going to add my onion. Next, I'm going to add the green peppers. And finally, I'm going to add a couple spoonfuls of minced garlic. Now I turned the heat up on my burner, and now I'm just going to move these veggies around, get everything well mixed together and incorporated. I'm going to bring this to a boil and then reduce it to a simmer until these veggies are about al dente. So now that my veggies are al dente, I've added them to the blender, and I'm going to add this large can of mild Rotel. Now the only thing left I have to do is get all this mixed together. I'm going to fire up this blender, and I'm going to give it a good blend until it all has a uniform look to it. So this is what I like to see, a semi-smooth salsa texture. I'm going to add it to this pot. We got a couple more things we want to add to this. We want to kick it up a notch with the heat. I'm going to add a couple of these chipotle peppers and a little bit of this adobo sauce into this. I'll remove the peppers before I use it as a dipping sauce. Now I'm going to add just a touch more of this bone broth just to thin it out a tiny bit. Remember, it's a dipping sauce. Now I'm going to give it a good mix and set it in the fridge for a couple hours to let all the flavors come together. We'll heat it back up when it's time to eat. So after about 2.5 hours on smoke, these roasts are looking absolutely fantastic. Rub is stuck to the meat really, really good. They're starting to sweat a little bit. Now's the time I want to pull them off and get them tender. To do that, you're going to need a slow cooker. So I got these roasts right in the slow cooker, and before I throw this dipping sauce in the fridge, I'm going to ladle a little bit of it on top of this meat. Just going to add some flavor to it. It's also going to add some moisture to this whole situation. And last, we're going to add a little bit more of this fire and kettle bone broth. We're going to get this bad boy covered. We're going to set it to high, and we're going to let it roll until it falls apart. Time is irrelevant here. You want to just let it roll, be patient with it, set it on high. And then once this meat is pull-apart tender, you're good to go. So here we are. A few hours later, I wasn't really keeping track. I just would check it periodically and see where we're at. But see how it's just pulling apart with these tongs? That is exactly what you want to see. So I got my pulled meat right into this pot here, and I'm just going to let it hang out for 30 minutes to an hour. Let all those flavors come together a little bit, kind of like what we did with the sauce. But before I cover it up and just let it hang out for a little bit, I'm going to ladle a little bit of this juice and drippings into our dipping sauce. It's going to give it a great flavor. Okay, so I got the Blackstone griddle fired up, got some oil down, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these taco tortillas, I'm going to dip them in the leftover juices from our meat, and I'm just throwing them down on top of this flat top. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to let these cook away until they start puffing up a little bit, get a little bubbly. It's really not going to take very long. It's going to take about 30 seconds for these to get to where they want to be on one side. And once they get nice and bubbly, what you got to do is you got to flip them. So I put the 6th one down and start flipping the others. And this is what you're looking for. You're looking for a nice golden brown. I'll give these last 2 a little bit more time. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start layering some meat down. You want to put meat on just 1/2 of the tortilla. Remember, you got to fold these and get this meat on right here and give these last 2 tortillas a flip. Here we go. Whoop. So now what I want to do is I want to layer on some cheese to these first 4 tacos. And I'm using the Sargento Taco Blend. It's a blend of shredded cheese meant for tacos. You can use whatever kind of melty cheese you'd like. And I'm just going to sprinkle some cheese right over the top of this meat. And next what we want to do is we want to fold these tacos over. You want to fold these tortillas over, and you want to grill them off and get them nice and melty. You want to let that cheese get nice and oozy, and that's exactly what we're going to be looking for. I'm going to fold these over just like this and give it maybe another 30 seconds on the side it's on, and then we'll flip it over, hit the other side, and really melt that cheese. Meantime, I'm going to get some meat on these tortillas here, and we're going to give it the same treatment. I'm fixing to make about a dozen of these tacos. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to flip these tacos over, and I want to give it a little bit of some griddle on the cheese side. Let that cheese get nice and melty. About 30 seconds is all you need. Okay, so these tacos are looking nice and cheesy and melty, golden brown on both sides. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them off this griddle, and I'm going to get them right onto this cutting board. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line them up and make it easier to throw a garnish on these bad boys. Okay, so I got my first half dozen tacos done, and now I'm going to garnish it with some fresh chopped cilantro. It's going to give a nice, fresh, aromatic flavor to these tacos, and that green really makes it pop. Add some color to it. That looks absolutely awesome. Time to cook another half dozen of these bad boys, and then it's time to eat dinner. Okay, you guys, so here we are. I have a couple of these tacos. Got them right on a plate. Now I'm going to get right into these. Let's see how we did here. Smells absolutely fantastic. Nice golden brown, tender and cheesy. Perfect smoke flavor in this beef. Perfect smoke flavor in this beef. That Traeger is out of this world. It just delivers every single time. Ran pecan pellets on the Traeger, and that goes really, really well with beef. But it's tender. Good balance of heat to it. Those taco seasonings you put on. Got a very slight crunch on the tortilla. Some Blackstone, give it a really nice color, really nice flavor. Maybe other than Blackstone, man, these cook quick. Perfect griddle. You know what I kind of wish I did was take the meat and crisp it up on either side of the Blackstone, then set it on the tortilla. But I might be overthinking it. It's just melt in your mouth. Goodness, this is just an unbelievable taco. And you get a little bit of cilantro in that fresh cilantro. You gotta go with fresh cilantro, guys. I will say this: these do take a while to assemble and cook and get it all together. You know, cooking those chuck roasts definitely takes a long period of time between the time you have on the smoker and then the time you have. You can use a Dutch oven, you could use a crock pot, you could just do it on the stove if you really, really wanted to. And if you don't have a smoker, you could do all of this using your oven and a cast iron. It really, I mean, they're not hard to do. It just takes some time. It's a little tedious, but man. Oh. Unbelievable. Guys, these are going to be a win. When you cook these for people, everybody's just going to absolutely love you. And I've seen a lot of these Birria Tacos done on the Blackstone. So, of course, when I got a Blackstone, I had to try it. I'm going back in. Look at that cheese. That shredded chuck roast. Man. Just beef taco flavor town. Melted cheese. Perfectly griddled tortilla. This is a great tag team recipe with Traeger and Blackstone. Actually, I got into these guys so fast, almost forgot our consomme, our salsa. I let this cool down just a little bit. It's a hot day.
Get some cool salsa. Get some of that right on there. Oh, that is tea. Oh man, that is awesome. This consomme with the rotel, and green peppers and onion, garlic, beef bone broth. That is just absolute fire. If I could get it on my taco, that'd be even better. Here, let's go with this side. Oh yeah. Mmm. Wow. This you can make alone, on its own. And just use it with chips. If you have any of this stuff left over, which I'm going to, this is great to just serve up with chips. Unbelievable. A little more here. And there you have it. Not much else I could say about this, except that is absolutely fantastic. That's probably one of the best ways I've ever done tacos, using a smoker or a griddle or a cast iron or anything like that. Can't believe it took me this long to make these things. This is absolutely unbelievable, you guys. And again, Traeger and Blackstone, can't say enough about those two cookers. Absolutely fantastic. They show up, they work, they deliver solid, repeatable results every single time. Very user-friendly, great for a backyard barbecue, and just about anything, really. If you have any interest in Traeger grills or Blackstone griddles, please do us a favor and check out the affiliate links in the description of this video if you want to check any of those products out. Helps us out big time. If you like what you see here and you like what we're doing on this channel, please give us a subscribe. We're on social media, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and of course YouTube. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next time.